everyone, this is Shadow the Rat, and in this video I'm going to be going over the 3 different types of cues. So a cue is just some sort of signal you teach your animal to respond to in a certain way. For example, this is my spin cue. This tells Oreo I want her to spin, and in exchange she'll get some sort of reward. So the first cue that you probably think of is auditory, and that's because we humans do tend to, well, communicate in a very auditory way. People tend to associate cues with some sort of noise or word. So for example, with my rats, that would be my come cue. And when I do, I expect them to come over to me, and then I reward them. So when they hear that noise, they come over, and that's basically telling them, come over here, she has a treat, she wants you to come, and if you do so, you'll be rewarded. So what Oreo just showed you right now is what's called a prop cue or an item cue. And this is basically when you teach the animal to associate a certain object with a certain action. So as you saw Oreo just did right there, when she sees the ball, she's going to push it with her nose, and then she gets rewarded. So she knows every single time she sees this ball in this particular situation on this prop, she's supposed to push it down. So yeah, that's another sort of cue you can use, and you'll notice a lot of my rats' cues are actually based on the item that they're interacting with. So the final sort of cue is a body or hand cue, and this is just like I showed in the beginning with spin. It's just when you use your hand or body to cue something like that. So for example, with spin, the cue I use is just I raise my hand in the air and I make a little circle with it, and the rat will spin as a result. I'd actually argue that body and hand cues are the easiest sort of cues to teach your animal, and that's because animals are just so perceptive to what you're doing while you're training them. So if you're in a certain position when you cue them and when you're teaching them the cue, then they might just do that trick if they see that cue when you're in that certain position. So yeah, those are the 3 types of cues. Personally, I really tend to use the hand signals and the prop cues, and that's just because rats tend to be pretty bad with vocal cues. You might think that's a little bit strange because, I mean, their eyesight is pretty poor and their hearing is incredible, so why are they so bad at auditory cues? Honestly, I don't know. I just know that rats don't tend to respond to them well, and that's why I only train come as an auditory cue, and everything else I do with hand signals. They don't have the best eyesight, but they still respond really well to them. And other than that, I just use prop cues, and it works out really well. So hopefully this video was helpful to anyone out there wondering about the different sort of cues, and hopefully I cleared up what a cue is. Thank you guys for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment them in the comments down below. And as always, you can check out my rat website at www.rattricks.weebly.com, link in the description. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye. Oh, look at her. Oreo says goodbye. She's so sweet. Look at that face. Oh, look at that little tail face. That's a sweet